The 882nd edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Get up to $1,000 deposit match when you sign up at UnderdogFantasy.com and use promo code MMA SGPN.
Adios, Degenerinos. Welcome to episode 882 of the MMA Gambling Podcast and the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to one of our friends in the Discord, Vinizi, who claims he's not a furry, but I think he doth protest too much. Well, we shall see. Thanks for coming to the show. I am definitely not a furry. We shall see if he's furry. Hopefully, he reveals himself one way or the other.
We shall see.
We shall see if he's a furry or not.
It's a wild transition there.
I'm not the furry. I'm the berserker, Jeff Fox. Even though myself and my co-host, we're kind of furry right now. That would be Daniel Gumby reeling. We're covering some PFL. You maniacs love PFL. Don't they, Gumby?
It's crazy. Yeah, we actually just had our most watched episode of all time on YouTube. The listen numbers are still out, but the numbers on YouTube are better than ever for Friday's PFL action, which, by the way, we did pretty good on too. Ended one cancellation. We gave you picks for all 10 fights. We ended 7-2 and really should have been 8-1. Somehow somebody who landed only 18 strikes managed to win a fight.
Yeah, I heard there was a robbery. What fight was that?
I mean, so robbery might be harsh because, he had some control time. I did think he, very obviously lost 2 rounds in maybe stole one with just control. But, he landed 18 punches, and one judge gave him every round. And I don't even know how you do that, because it wasn't like he was in on submissions either. It wasn't like he had rear naked chokes or anything like that. So I don't know how you give somebody a 30-27. When they read 30-27, I was like, oh cool, we got this one. Yeah, this one's in the back. And then I was like, he gave him a 30-27 in that fight.
Yeah, it makes gambling in MMA difficult sometimes. So that's for sure, because these things do happen in MMA. Sadly, what fight was that one?
That was the one with the Swiss dude with the Russian sounding last name.
That one.
Yeah, that one. And then we saw the Canadian came through for us as an underdog too. Dupra. He choked out Nathan Kelly, and then the ref watched him dangle there for roughly, I'm gonna say about 10 seconds. He was unconscious. And then she felt his leg and somehow stopped the fight.
They let women do this job. Oh my god! The doctor was like, her what?
Yeah, I feel like you got your finger on the pulse of most of MMA Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There you go. I know how to be the lowest denominator type of thing here. 7-2 and 1, I guess, right? Or no, one fight fell off. You said so. 7-2.
One fight fell off. So 7-2. That one got canceled. And
what
then
else do we have this week?
We went 3-2 on Uriah Faber A1. One of the Canadians actually got us, Kenan Pattershuk, who's looked just terrible lately. Somehow pulled out a win. Across the board, profitable week. So we're up to a little bit over 37 units on the week or on the year now.
Fantastic. All right, let's keep it going this weekend. We got some PFL. We got a big octagon card. It was big. It was bigger, actually. It's still pretty big, but it was bigger until a few minutes before we recorded. Then a bunch of premier fights fell off.
We'll get to that tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll get to that tomorrow. Today is all about PFL Africa. And you people don't this PFL card this past weekend wasn't even a star-studded event either. And people like it. Are we the only people covering PFL? Is that what the issue is?
I don't know, man. I mean, it's not an issue. First of all,
I know it's great.
Don't call it an issue.
Doesn't that Ian guy or whoever they have doesn't he do shows?
I mean, he's just
betting expert.
They're betting expert. He pops up on the broadcast and tells you to take the favorite.
Yes. They're resident Yanni. All right, we are going to tell you about all this PFL Africa. You people love that too. You people, I say it derisively, but no, you lovely people. Sports Gambling Podcast is back with their 32 NFL team previews. I heard you should check out the Dallas Cowboy one for sure. They're also bringing back their phrase at pace. Each episode, they'll give out one phrase of a 32-word phrase. Submit the phrase for a chance to win a $1,000 circa future. Gumby being a Cowboys fan is causing a stir in our Discord as well. So yeah, You don't have a lot of people on your side.
As I said to people the other day, I don't like it any more than they do right now.
Yep. But hey, he was stuck. I was gonna say you're born into this, but you weren't born into this. You
No,
chose.
my dad was actually a Giants fan.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you could have been just like our boss then.
I could have, but no, here I am.
Here you
waiting to see Micah Parsons get a contract or not.
Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, we're not going to talk about Cowboys. Yeah, I told you about the phrase and pays. I told you about the previous. So we are ready to jump into PFL Africa, which I'm sure everyone will love. As I said, it's the starting of the tournament season, right? PFL Africa 2.
Yeah, they're doing
as well.
Weights and featherweights on this one. So they started 2 other tournaments last time. They did heavyweights and light heavyweights, maybe. They did 2 other weight classes last time. So this is PFL Africa 2, and it's the second batch of tournaments they're starting up.
Okay, cool. Johannesburg 2025. So this is a actually more succinct title than they usually go. PFL Africa 2, Johannesburg 2025. So maybe they
didn't slip the word quarterfinals in there.
No,
on this one.
They do have event numbers, years. It's crazy. Johannesburg, South Africa, obviously is the place where it's taking place this coming Saturday. So the 9th of August, noon Eastern start time, which is good. What's the UFC running this week? I haven't even checked ahead yet. UFC's got probably
they're back in the Apex. Yeah.
So it'll be like later evening. So this will be good. The big top arena is where this is taking place. If you're in the Johannesburg area, you want to watch it. 5 fights on the card. As per usual, we'll hit you off with basically all the tournament fights, right? We're covering almost, no, I guess not all. Every fight on this card's a tournament fight. We'll pick you. We'll pick off the 5 that we find most interesting. And
they came out with a bout order. So it looks like the top of the card is 1 featherweight tournament bout, and then all of the welterweight ones. The rest of the featherweight ones they buried on the prelims. Along with a couple of alt bouts.
All right, awesome. We are starting off with this would be welterweight. Osvaldo Benedito. Excuse me. Osvaldo Benedito. He's from Angola, I believe, by that flag. Emilios Dassi. He is from one of the colorful flags. He is from Cameroon. They're fighting 3 5-minute rounds, as I said, 170 pounds. No odds yet for PFL Africa, but they should be widely available when we get closer to the actual event time. Midweek is what we usually like to say here. All right, we're going to kick things off with Dassi. 4-1 with 4 knockouts. He has been knocked out himself once, so I think that means he owes his rounds. Correct.
Sure.
TKO win in his last belt. Used to fight at 155 and 185. Benedito is Creu. Creu. 3-1, 1 knockout, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out once. He owes his rounds as well. This is his debut in PFL. I guess both guys, this is their debut in PFL. He got submission win in his last bout. Used to fight at 155, an inch taller than Dassi. How hard is it to find good tape on these?
Well, Dassi's was a pain, just mostly because he also goes by the name Dassi Dambeo. So instead of Emilios Dassi. So I saw was looking for fights, and I kept popping up fights with Dassi Dambo, and I was like, who is this guy? And then I realized he had fought all the same people, and I'm like, oh, he uses his last name as a first name or has another. I don't know how it works. So PFL is listing him as Emilios Dassi, but you might have to search around if you want other film on him. Everybody was pretty easy to find film on, to be honest, because EFC is readily available with their stuff, and the vast majority of these guys have fought for EFC. And for me, I think Dassi's going to come in as the favorite here. Probably not too big. I'll say negative 165. I am taking him in this bout, but it's it's kind of hard for me to really like Emilios Dassi because I watched his fight, a lot of movement, very quick. Threw a cool little Superman punch right off the bat. When he did, I wouldn't say patient, but he was looking for his shots. Then he landed one thing and he went absolutely apeshit. He went nuts. And at first I was like, nice, this guy's got real good finishing ability. But then he didn't finish the guy. And he looked quite tired. And for me, he's clearly got the skills. He's clearly quick. He's clearly, got all of that kind of stuff that you would want. But I'm a little bit worried about the fight IQ because what happens when that goes down next time and his opponent can finish him, and it didn't happen that time, but it is problematic in my opinion. But with Benedito, man, he's got some real issues in his grappling. I was almost thinking like if Dassi was, after watching that fight and watching him do that and gas out, I was like, almost if he's fighting a grappler, I'm going to side with the grappler almost right off the bat. But like I watched Benedito, the guy's like really particularly bad at scrambling it more so than anything. I watched his fight with Hanru Botha, who's a fighter I like out of EFC. And, Botha, just kind of ragdolled him on the ground. I saw him, his apart from the Botha fight, and Botha's record isn't great either, but like he's fought like kind of a really low level of competition Benedito has, and like even in some of those fights, he like still looks really hittable. So for a guy like Dassi who is fast and does seem to have the power and might just go absolutely wild if he lands one thing, I think that probably all plays up well against Benedito. So I'm going to take Dassi here, most likely a slight favorite.
Slight fave. All right. Maybe before we move on, what's the level of fighters fighting in this tournament? Can you compare it to?
I mean, it's weird because like with the first PFL we did, or PFL Africa we did, it looked kind of low, and then like they had a couple of guys drop out and like maybe replaced with better fighters.
Oh yeah.
And like you will have heard of a bunch of the guys on this one. Like we're gonna talk about Sanon Sadeck next, and he's like 3-0 or 4-0 in Anthony Pettis Fight Club. So he's like, one of the guys in their welterweight tournaments, maybe the best guy in Anthony Pettis FC. Ibrahima Mané, who's going to be fighting, he's fought in PFL proper. He kind of lost a fight that he probably should have won against Maselli. But like, we're talking about guys who are high-level regional fighters.
Okay, cool. Not UFC caliber at this point at the very least.
Oh, no. Definitely short of that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Should we get another fight, Gumby? What do you say?
Okay.
I'd say we should. You want to do one more? Let's do another one. At least one more. We are moving to up the card as per usual. We're sticking with welterweight though. Sanon Sadeck. He is from all these flags. I don't know them all. He's from Burkina Faso. I don't think we've had a fighter from there, have we? I don't
remember what.
I think it's a new one for us. Yabna say his name, Gummy. T'Challa, silent N. Like in win.
You still say the N.
And he is from a place I've never heard of. I've heard of Guinea, but Guinea-Bissau. Have you heard of Guinea-Bissau?
No, I haven't.
No, there you go.
Is it Equatorial Guinea? Is it the other name for Equatorial Guinea?
Maybe. Oh, now you're going to make me look it up, aren't you? You've heard of Equatorial Guinea, have you? It's a country in West Africa. I know that much. It's a member of the United Nations. That's something. No, I don't think so. I think it's somewhere different. But maybe we'll have to go visit sometime. Okay. Well, road trip for the podcast company.
Okay.
All right. Break it down. We're still sticking at 1 sub. Yes, it said. T'Challa, the Panther. 11-2-1, 4 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's never been finished in a fight. This is his PFL debut. 1-1-1 over his last 3. He did win his last fight though via TKO. He's fought at 145 and 155. 4 years younger than Sadeck, 3 inches taller. Sadeck 7-2 with 3 knockouts, never been finished in a fight. 0-1 in PFL. He's won 4 straight though. TKO win in his last bout. He's not lost since March 2023.
Yeah, that TKO came in Anthony Pettis FC, as I mentioned just a second ago, too. And against Logan Urban, who was on Contender Series. Big KO power from Sadeck, which is sort of what I think will lead him to be a favorite here. I'm going to say in the like -215 to -230 kind of range here against T'Challa. So for me, the problem with T'Challa is that like he's a pretty decent kickboxer. It's clear that that's what his background is. Loves to throw the leg kick. But the bigger problem for me is just like there's no wrestling there whatsoever. Like he got taken down pretty easily in some of his past fights. He doesn't seem to have a really good sense of how to get back up either. Like even with his shoulders back against the cage, he didn't really cage walk up. Doesn't look to be grabbing underhooks. Definitely no elevators or butterflies or anything like that he's using jiu-jitsu wise. Like
how about top turtle? Does he know how to use top turtle position?
No, nobody really uses it. So it's a bad position. That's
why your show's called that?
That's why my show's called that. Yeah. It's a bad position. But T'Challa, like, it just seems completely out of his element there. And Sadeck is not necessarily a guy who wrestles, but he's a guy who I think of as like, if you can wrestle, it gives him more trouble. And so we're not going to see that from T'Challa. And, Sadeck, he's shown big knockout power. We saw him go in there, like I said, with Logan Urban. And I wrote down, there was another, he fought Paul Kimball in LFA. he did tire a little bit in that fight, I will say. But like, again, T'Challa is not a guy who's going to push the pace. He's not a guy who's going to force him to grapple. He's not a guy who's going to do any of those things. So I think we're going to be able to see Sadeck just like go ahead and use his full power. Particularly the best power he's got to, which is funny because he's knocked a lot of guys out with his hands. He kicks to all levels. He's the type of guy who will throw like that rear body kick a whole bunch of times until you start covering up. Then he'll go up top with it. Right. Rip the low calves, just to mix things up. I like all the different levels from Sadeck here. So I think getting a kickboxer who he even might be able to wrestle if he doesn't like what he sees should bode well for him. So we'll go with Sadeck here.
All right. Awesome. Before we get you some more winning plays, let me tell you about mybookie.ag. We are brought to you by mybookie.ag. Hence the reason I'm talking about them. MyBookie is your place to bet in every sport, including MLB, WNBA, golf, and of course, football futures. MyBookie accepts customers for a ton of locations. They have easy deposit, lightning fast payouts using crypto. You can get all our MMA lines we talk about over at MyBookie. They have a wide array of MMA promotions that they get you lines for. So when you do head over to mybookie.ag, sign up with our code MMASGPN, and you get 100% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code MMASGPN. And you've heard us talk about Rhythm before, and they just dropped a game-changing feature called Power Trends. Essentially, the best of what their house model has to offer. These are AI-detected patterns where Rhythm's model has consistently won and has a high ROI. Think a strikeout prop that wins 59% of the time when the line and win probability hit a certain range. Power Trends are updated daily and exclusive to Rhythm. No touts, no noise, just clean data-backed bets. Here's some stats for you. MLB Power Trends are crushing it. A lot of unders on batter hit props that are collectively hitting at a 70% rate. Fading players is profitable. WNBA Power Trends since All-Star break is 27-16 on Power Trends with a 23.36% ROI. They're absolutely cooking. Nice little bankroll builder for NFL, which is right around the corner. Download the Rhythm app, check out Power Trends, and start betting smarter. We will be. Gumby, have you found anything there interesting to tell the people recently?
Yeah, I've been telling you about how I've slowly become a WNBA expert just by hanging out with Rhythm. And one of the ones I like lately was Kelsey Plum's higher than on her assists. I think I talked about it, just a couple of days ago or something like that. But I hit it again on Friday. The books listed her at 5.5, and she once again went over that. So gotta love Rhythm for a sport or at least I know very little about.
Awesome. So you can get a 7-day free trial today and check out for yourself at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, RITHMM. All right. We are sticking with welterweights here. We have got British Boloyoang. Great name, British, versus Ayinda Octave. Boloyoang is from South Africa. So he's fighting on home soil here. Octave is from Cameroon. Let's break it down. What should we call him, Gumby? Octave
I think it's Octave?
Okay, yeah. So not the musical Octave. All right, we'll tell you about Octave first. He's the Bantu warrior. He's 5-0, 2 knockouts, 1 submission. This is his debut in the PFL. He's won 2 straight fights via TKO. He's not fought though in over a year. June 2024 was his last fight. He used to fight at 155 and 185. He's 6 years younger than Boloyoang. Boloyoang is 3-1, 2 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out once. You almost rounds, damn it. This is his debut in PFL as well. He's won 2 straight. He's not lost since August 2021. He's 3 inches taller than Octave.
This is one I'm going to take a swing on what I believe to be an underdog. I like British Boloyoang. I think he's probably going to be like a plus 300 underdog if I had to guess. But I really like what I've seen from him on the film. Octave is supposed to be a wrestler. Like, he comes from a wrestling base. It's clear it's what he wants to do, but I've actually seen him struggle with that in the past. Like, he's been thrown a couple of times, and it's clear when he wrestles too much or he kind of meets his match when it comes to wrestling, he tires out a little bit, which is kind of crazy because he's fought mostly really terrible competition, which is another reason why I'm kind of fading him here. Is like, I think even in the fights where he's looked good, the competition has just been so bad. There's not really much you can read on it. And then Boloyoang is been pretty damn good. Like, it's clear he wants to load up on this like big left hand. Like, he keeps leaning back for it. And, is it telegraphed a little bit? Yeah, a little bit. But like, in his last fight, he wound up getting the guy to circle the way he wanted and landing it anyway. And man, did he knock him out. Like, big, heavy knockout kind of stuff. And, you know, in terms of his wrestling, it actually looks pretty good. You know, when I was watching that fight where he does land that big knockout, there was one time where he went to take his opponent down and got like re-rolled in the takedown, wound up on the bottom, but he popped right back up. And that also gives me a lot of hope against Octave, because if Octave gets to the wrestling and goes to that wrestling early, like I said, he's kind of got questionable cardio. You know, if Boloyoang can get up repeatedly, I think that would be bad for him. And I just think the length of British Boloyoang is going to be too much for him too. You know, as you mentioned, he's got like 3 inches of height and probably more of that in reach over Octave. And when you add that to a guy who's, you know, supposed to be a wrestler, but has kind of struggled with transitioning the wrestling to the MMA world the way that Octave has, I think Boloyoang is going to find homes for that left hand. I think you're going to see him do the smart stuff in terms of defending the takedown, and I think he's going to pick him apart. So give me Boloyoang.
And you thought it was in the plus 300?
Yeah, I would guess 300.
Nice.
Yeah, like I mean, like it's a guy who people are hyped on in Ayinda Octave, mostly just because I think like the record looks better, right? And like, you know, he's dominating guys, but like he's dominating really bad guys. And so for me, I think Boloyoang is gonna come in here underrated.
Well, the Tabologists are full of Gumby. They are 93% on Octave. So
yeah, see, and that's like again a record thing, right? Like typically they're scanning the records, maybe not necessarily noticing he hasn't fought anybody.
Yep. All right. Excuse me. We're sticking with 170 here. We have another fight. Obviously, this is the co-main event. And we have got a guy from, where is he from? Gambia. That would be Ibrahima Mané. He is fighting a gentleman from, his name is Shido Boris Esperanca. Catchy name. He's from Angola. And they're fighting 3 5-minute rounds. They're fighting at 170. We'll tell you about Mané first. Once my tap, there it is. There's my spreadsheet. His nickname is Freezer. We got Freezer versus Machine in this fight. Freezer is 14-5, 5 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been knocked out 4 times. 1-1 in PFL. He's 6-1 over his last 7. Got TKO'd in his last bout. He's fed at 185. He went 0-1 in Bellator, 0-1 as a pro grappler. He's 6 inches taller than Esperanca. Machine Esperanca, 9-1, 5 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out once, 1-0 in PFL. He's won 3 straight, 2 straight via finish. He's not fought since August 2024. He has not lost a fight since September 2022. He's got multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get a shirt, get a merch, get all the good stuff. sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. He's fed at 155, 1-0 as pro grappler, 6 years younger than Mané.
So this one's weird for me in terms of trying to figure out how to handicap where they're going to come in with that line, because Mané, I think he was like a negative 1,200 favorite in his last fight when he fought Maselli. As you mentioned, he got beaten that fight. So like, does the books look at that and say, okay, well, maybe he's not very good in swing him all the way down to being an underdog? Or do the books look at that and be like, oh, you know, anybody can get caught and he's still the negative 1,400 or whatever he was that we were trying to install? It's interesting for me. So I'm going to say it was bad enough that Esperanca will come in as a favorite. The loss to Maselli looks pretty damn bad in retrospect. And I'm going to go with Esperanca too. My guess probably in the like negative 135 range, even if it flips, right? Like if we can get Mané down into dog price due to that loss. So I'm going to go with Esperanca, and the reason why is he looked really good in that, you know, you mentioned he was in PFL before that fight with Tyler Hill. Tyler Hill, kind of like a journeyman who's been around, might have been on Tough at one point in time. Like he's kind of been around. Esperanca like really teed off on him early. I like his combinations, particularly when he becomes confident in his abilities to move forward. He's got really good pressure, and he's kind of got like a sneaky good double leg too. You know, he landed that on Tyler Hill and had some like really good position. He also landed it on one of his old losses. He fought Badruddin Diani, who we've broken down for PFL Mina a couple of times. You know, he wound up losing that fight because of like some issues with his cardio, which I think he's mostly solved by now. But like he scored a really nice double leg and some nice control time on Diani too, which is like not super easy to do. And then with Mané, like Mané might give Esperanca the brawl that he wants, right? Like, you know, Esperanca, like I said, opened up big and threw tons of combos and kind of mixed it up with Tyler Hill when he started feeling confident. Mané might give him that, but like I also think like the chance of Mané being clipped again, because he got clipped in that last fight and by a guy who I don't necessarily think of as like being a big KO threat. And so, like, I think the chances Esperanca hitting him in those battles is higher. And then also, like, Mané, like, forces the clinch a lot. And I think that that's a really bad move in this fight because, as I just mentioned, Esperanca has, like, some kind of sneaky good wrestling. Like, he gets down on doubles really well and finishes, and then he's kind of tough on top. And then in addition to that, too, Mané's, like, I feel like he's much more likely to get clipped in the clinch. Like he does some like really sloppy defensive stuff in the clinch because he's so excited to go for offense. So I think Esperanca is going to catch him in one of those situations. He throws hard, he hits hard. And even if he doesn't, like I think the takedown's there too. So give me Shido, Boris, Esperanca.
All right. We shall give him to you. We're also going to give you this ad read. Circa Million and Circa Survivor. The world's greatest sportsbook, Circa Las Vegas, is hosting the world's biggest pro football contest. That will be Circa Million, Circa Survivor, and Circa Grandissimo with over $21 million in guaranteed prizes. You can't call yourself a true degen if you're not competing in the Circa football contest. Come hang out with SGPN at the Circa contest weekend, August 21st to 23rd, for an amazing weekend, including live shows and open bars. Plus, you get 15% off a stay at the Circa with promo code SGP15. Contests are open to everyone. Sign up in Nevada and play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. So go to footballcontest.com and use promo code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. And Underdog Baseball Mania is happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. No waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best ball is the best way to play fantasy football. Underdog is also a great place to play at Pick'em, where you can win up to 500 times your entry. Gumby's going to give you a winning play right now, I bet.
Yeah, you guys are getting this on Sunday. We got the Brewers playing the Nationals, and Jacob Mazeroski is throwing. I'm probably saying his last name wrong. It's really Polish though, and he's pitching in that one. Get this. I'm going to take the lower than on his strikeouts, not the higher than on his strikeouts, the lower than on his strikeouts. And the reason why is I've been burned a couple of times recently with him because the Brewers just keep pulling him early. Like they're pulling him at like 66 pitches or 70 pitches. Like they're clearly trying to limit the amount he's throwing. And then in addition to that, too, the Nationals, one of the toughest teams in the league to strike out. So I'm going to go with the lower than on him.
All right. Take that play and take our code MMASGPN. That way you get to claim a special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code MMASGPN. Okay, where are we moving to next? Gumby, we are going to the main event. Obviously, yes. It is a featherweight. Finally covering a featherweight bout here, featherweight tournament opening round. So it's basically quarterfinals where all the fights we broke down up to now. Patrick Ocheme versus Mohamed Camara. Ocheme is from Nigeria, if that's how you say his name. That's how I'm going to say it. Camara is from, I believe, Guinea. Not Guinea-Bissau, but Guinea. Let's tell you about Camara first. Lamo, Lamo is his nickname. I'm not calling him a Lamo, but that's his nickname. Or Lamo. 5-2-1. One knockout, one submission. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. This is his debut in PFL. 0-1-1 over his last two. Got a draw on his last bout. That was back in May of 2024. He's not won a fight since September 2022. He's regional champ. He's fight at 170. Ocheme, Star Boy, BOI. 6-1 with 4 knockouts. He's been knocked out once. This is his debut. He's won 4 straight, 3 straight via TKO. He's not lost in November 2022. He's fought at 155 and 170. He's 4 years younger than Camara, 3 inches taller.
All right, so this one's one of those fights where I've got a side here, and it could look really, 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 truly bad. Because I'm gonna pick Camara here. I think he's gonna be anywhere between 250 and 350, maybe. The public, I think, and the books are gonna like Ocheme. He's what'd you say, 7-1?
Yeah, 9-1. Even no, wait, 6-1.
6-1. Yeah. Ocheme 6-1. His only losses to Eliezer Kubanza, who we actually broke down on our Brave CF preview a few weeks ago. He actually couldn't get a visa to fight in Bulgaria, so Kubanza didn't wind up fighting on that card. But like Kubanza's, an absolute beast. So Ocheme's only loss is to a dude who I think should be in the UFC already in Kubanza. And so like he's fought really good competition. I can't find a single bit of footage of him defending a takedown. I can't find
a mystery. Like we said before, that's always a mystery. You don't know.
Like, I could see him in some like clinches where I guess like you could like squint and be like, okay, that guy's kind of trying to take down there. But like it's not a good takedown. It didn't seem like it started with a takedown. It's almost like we got in the clinch and then they reached down and we're like, maybe I'll try to grab his leg here. And so like that's a huge question mark for me. And like that's why I said like I like Camara in this fight, because Camara has great body locks. He does weirdly throw the head and arm throw, which I don't love. Like he's more of an upper body takedown guy, and like he goes and does and throws that freaking head and arm throw that it doesn't work more than it does. But with that being said, like I think Ocheme, if he can get him down, like he'll be way better there, and he's got great control and top pressure. I haven't seen Ocheme against like a real wrestler, and this is why it could look really bad, right? Like Ocheme could come out with like some of the greatest takedown defense I've ever seen, and he's gonna piece up Camara on the feet if that's the case, because he's faster, he's quicker, all that kind of stuff. This is a striker versus grappler match, and I'm just like kind of going on the instinct of like I do believe this grappler is good enough to get him down without having any real basis for that. So, this is one of those ones where, like I like the underdog, but maybe we don't just like, back up the Brinks truck for this one and dump it all in on him, because it, again, could look real silly like 2 minutes into the fight.
Yeah. You said in the 200s for that?
Yeah, I think like 250 probably.
Yeah,
because they're going to like Ocheme. Like, there's lots to like about him, knockouts, only losses to an absolute beast. But I worry about having not seen that style.
Yeah. You don't know if the guy can do it until you actually see him do it. So let's recap, and we'll see if we got some lightning round plays. He's got Camara. He's got Esperanca. He's got Boloyoang. He's got Sadeck. He's got Dassi. All right, lightning round. Zap, bam, boom, pow. You got 5 other fights to choose from here.
All right, so the first one I'm going to take is Albert Lucas Stayen. He's a South African dude with like wicked good Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Really nice back takes, really good top control. I'm not quite sure where the line will come in on that one, but like he's, really good finisher on the mat. And then I'm going to take a guy who I'm pretty sure will wind up being an underdog. I like Wasi Adesina. Wasi Adesina, again, real good ground game. I've seen him against some pretty solid competition. And he's fighting a guy in Jean-Jacques Lubaya, who we broke down on an EFC card not that long ago. His fight fell off, so my prediction for his fight didn't wind up happening, but his fight fell off, and then he lost to the late replacement, and like not even a particularly great late replacement too. So like I think the books will still be excited about Lubaya, but like at the same time, like I think Adesina is got like tons of skills that again could bother just about anybody with that kind of ground game. So give me Adesina and give me Stayen.
All right. You are set now for PFL Africa 2. If you want to talk more of that or anything else, we shall be in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Hit us up on YouTube, MMA Gambling Podcast. Make sure you subscribe, please and thanks. Hit us up on Twitter, SGPN MMA. He's at Gumby Vreeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer there and on Instagram. Check out my Substack. The Pick'em contest will be up and running again this week. And all my writing is there all the time. moneymma.substack.com. Gumby has another great podcast called Top Turtle MMA. We were just talking about earlier. Do we know who's on it this week, Gumby?
Yeah, I got 2 people fighting this upcoming Saturday from the UFC fight card. We got Julius Walker. And from the Octagon fight card, which we'll be breaking down tomorrow, I'm talking to Neve Kinahan.
All right. Check out Top Turtle. Always a good listen. And of course, you can check out all of our stuff at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store to get your bonus content, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon for bonus content. We'll be back tomorrow. It'll be Starboy Jeff Fox, Freezer Vreeland. We'll talk to you then.